The Exemplary Tale of Śārdūlakarṇa. Bharani, Kritika, Rohini, and Mrigashira. This is the first general circle. Ādra, Punarvashu, Puṣya, and Ashlesha. This is the second general circle. Magha, the two Palgunis, Hasta, and Chitra. This is the third general circle. Svati, Vishaka, and Anuradha. This is the fourth general circle. Jeshta, Mula, and the two Ashadhas, which are all harbingers of great perils. This is the fifth circle. Dhanishta, Shatabisha, the two Bhadrapadas, Revati, Ashvini, and Bharani. This is the sixth general circle. Whatever circle of asterisms presses on these planets during the year, it is the populace or beings connected with that asterism who are stricken. So it should be stated. There are 12 muhurtas during the day that are stable, and 12 during the night. 6 muhurtas fluctuate. Which 6? Narita, Varuna, Vayava, Bharagodeva, Raudra, and Vicharin. These are the 6 that fluctuate. In the whole month of Shravana, when daytime consists of 18 muhurtas, at sunrise it is the muhurta called Chaturojas. Noon is between the muhurtas Rohita and the muhurta Bala. At sunset it is the muhurta called Vicharin. In the night, which consists of 12 muhurtas, at the 6th muhurta, after the sun has set, it is the muhurta called Nayamanas. At the end of the night it is the muhurta called Atapagni. In the whole month of Bhadrapada, when daytime consists of 17 muhurtas, at sunrise it is the muhurta called Chaturojas. At noon it is the muhurta called Abhijita. At sunset it is the muhurta called Raudra. In the night, which consists of 13 muhurtas, when the sun has just set, it is the muhurta called Vicharin. At midnight it is the muhurta called Mahabhaya. At the end of the night it is the muhurta called Atapagni. In the whole month of Ashvayuja, when daytime consists of 16 muhurtas, at sunrise it is the muhurta called Chaturojas. Noon is between the muhurta called Samudgata and the muhurta called Abhijita. At sunset it is the muhurta called Bhagodeva. In the night, which consists of 14 muhurtas, when the sun has just set, it is the muhurta called Raudra. Midnight is between the muhurta Abhijita and the muhurta Bhishamana. At the end of the night it is the muhurta called Atapagni. In the whole month of Kartika, when day and night have equal length, with daytime consisting of 15 muhurtas and the night consisting of 15 muhurtas, at sunrise it is the muhurta called Chaturojas. At noon it is the muhurta called Samukha. At sunset it is the muhurta called Santata. In the night, when the sun has just set, it is the muhurta called Bhagodeva. At midnight it is the muhurta called Abhijita. At the end of the night it is the muhurta called Atapagni. In the whole month of Margashirsha, when daytime consists of 14 muhurtas, at sunrise it is the muhurta called Chaturojas. Noon is in between the muhurtas Virata and Samukha. At sunset it is the muhurta called Varuna. In the night, which consists of 16 muhurtas, when the sun has just set, it is the muhurta called Samtana. Midnight is in between the muhurtas Rakshasa and Abhijita. At the end of the night, it is the muhurta called Atapagni. In the whole month of Pausha, when daytime consists of 13 muhurtas, at sunrise it is the muhurta called Chaturojas. At noon it is the muhurta called Virata. At sunset it is the muhurta called Nairita. In the night, which consists of 17 muhurtas, when the sun has just set, it is the muhurta called Varuna. At midnight it is the muhurta called Rakshasa. At the end of the night it is the muhurta called Atapagni. In the whole month of Magha, When daytime consists of 18 muhurtas, at sunrise it is the muhurta called Chaturrojas. Noon is in between the muhurtas Savitra and Virata. At sunset it is the muhurta called Vijaya. In the night time, which consists of 18 muhurtas, when the sun has just set, it is the muhurta called Nairita. Midnight is in between the muhurtas Gādaba and Rakshasa. At the end of the night it is the muhurta called Atapagni. As it is in Shravana, so it is in Magha. As it is in Bhadrapada, so it is in Palguna. As it is in Ashvayuja, so it is in Chaitra. As it is in Kartika, so it is in Vaishakha. As it is in Margashirsha, so it is in Jyeshta. As it is in Pausha, so it is in Ashada. In this way, one should know the course and movement of the asterisms. This is the first lecture on the movement of the asterisms. In between the asterisms, one should add or subtract according to night and day. As the day either decreases or increases, or whether it is for the entire month or half a month, on the 2nd, 6th, 9th, 12th, and 14th, the day increases by a kala, and the night decreases by a kala. There are 4 great kings through whom the earth remains stable: Ativriddhi, Vishuddhi, Vardhamana, and Prithakshvaras. There are 4 great elements that shake the earth: water, Indra, wind, and the Lord fire. When there are 3 tremors in a fortnight or 6 in 1 month, one may predict an enemy army coming when the earth shakes repeatedly. If there is an earthquake under Vishaka, there is peril for 10 days. If under Jyeshta, there is peril for 12 days. If under Ashada, there is peril for 25 days. If under Shravana, there is peril for 75 days. If under Bhadrapada, there is peril for 100 days. If under Ashvayuj, it is held to be in the order of things. If in the month of Kartika, there is peril for 1.5 months. If in the month of Margashirsha, it is held to be in the order of things. If in the month of Pausha, there is peril for 55 days. If in the month of Magha, it is held that there is peril for 100 days. In the month of Palguna, there is peril for 1.5 months. In the month of Chaitra, there is peril for 30 days. As the result of the tremors of the earth, an earthquake will occur. When, during all months, the earth shakes repeatedly and the trees thus quiver, or if the water shakes and the leafy mountains shake, then one may predict peril. Cities, villages, pasture camps, and whatever is inhabited at that time quickly become deserted and bereft of people, and become the domain of wild animals. In 5 or 10 years they turn into forests. One should know that the quarters all become uninhabited, once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Kritika, the villages or cities are to be left immediately. For fire will burn their haystacks. Black fire will rage through, and workmen, storage places, and houses will be reduced to ashes due to the destruction. Those who were born, thrived, and lived in that village will undergo calamity, once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Rohini, all seeds will come to naught. Crops will not grow fully, and the harvest will be miserable. Women who are pregnant will suffer terrible miscarriages. Befallen with the calamity of famine, people will subsist on only a 1/3 portion. Magnanimous kings, the glorious, most excellent of men, will undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Mrigashira, plants and herbs will come to naught. Physicians, those who are learned in the Vedas, water carriers, those who offer soma, and Brahmins who have drunk soma, and set off to the forest practicing austerities, will undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Adra, milky trees will come to naught, and food and drink will come to naught. Travellers, elephant keepers, well diggers, trench diggers, and those who are wicked thieves will undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Punarvasu, water carriers, hunters, duck trappers, carters, parakeets, and miners, the young, churners, butchers, and conch traders will undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Puṣya, brahmins and leaders, merchants who travel far, people in caravans, travellers, mountain dwellers, and those who depend on them will undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. There will be hailstones raining down and great damage to the crops. When the earth shakes under Aślesha, all nagas, serpents and snakes, insects, ants and dogs, one-hoofed animals and doctors, poison makers, and people living in caves will undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Magha, the king will be in distress. Śraddha offerings, gatherings, and festivals will come to naught. Offerings and rituals for the gods will all come to naught at that time. Those who are born and those grown up, others who are great panditas, and musicians too will all come to naught. And those people who belong to high families will all undergo tribulations, once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Purva Palguni, the season will be upset. Those who delight in the Dharma, those in camps, and those who subsist as toll collectors will all undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Uttara Palguni, merchants travelling across continents, caravan leaders, those in camps, those who subsist on the arts and crafts, the peoples of Anga, Videha, Magadha, and Nairita, and the totality of women will all undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Hasta, people who are potters, doctors, group leaders, ministers, army officers, taramakas, narapatas, vipsaras, and poachers will all undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Chitra, it is like the preceding one. When the earth shakes under Svati, robbers, those of bad conduct, those who do harm, those who delight in those actions, those who plunder on request, and the people of the Himalayas in the north, who live on air and practice austerities, will all undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Vishaka, great mountains will break apart, harsh winds will blow with unwholesome hail, and horsemen and travellers will all lose their strength. They will undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Anuradha, there will be great misfortune for dacoits, rogues, gamblers, pickpockets, the people of Andhra, those of Pundra, and the Pulindas will be in peril and unsettled, and strong divisions between friends will occur among the population. When the earth shakes under Jeshta, the king will be in distress. Birds of prey, bulls, beasts of prey, ferocious animals, those who act cruelly, the people of Shurasena, the Mallas and the Balikas, as well as those who are devoted to them, due to the quick adversity, will all undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Mula, quadrupeds, bipeds, demons who take possession, and beings who live in caves will all undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. There will be little water for the crops, and it will quickly make for famine. Caves, mountains, and foundations, Mula, will then collapse into the earth. When the earth shakes under Purvashada, for aquatic animals, fish, oysters, dolphins, crabs, crocodiles, makaras, turtles, for the heads of castes and family lineages, the wealthy and discerning and the twice born, there will be great peril. They will all undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Uttarashadha, there is great misfortune for craftsmen, blacksmiths, master builders, tin workers, carpenters. The poor and the destitute and the various kinds of artisans will all undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. The houses of villages will be destroyed, along with their movables and immovables. When the earth shakes under Vaishnava, teachers, erudite scholars, poets, experts in mantras, the Yugandaras, the people of Shurasena, the Abhirajas, the Patacharas, the Kishatas, and the people of Sharadanda will all face what is undesired. When the earth shakes under Dhanishta, there will be great misfortune for the wealthy, Dhanin. Landlords, prominent townsmen, the heads of guilds, the formidable, the well-off, the Bhadrakaras, the Yugandaras, the Parukulus, the Bhojas, and other good townsfolk will all undergo tribulations once shaken by that earthquake. When the earth shakes under Varunya, there will be great misfortune for those by the water. Elephants, horses, donkeys, and camels will be severely affected. Likewise, the Sauvirakas, the Madras, the Balikas, the Kekayas, those living in wagons without fixed residence, and those in Janasthana will be stricken. When the earth shakes under Saja, demons, murderers, shepherds, pig sellers, and Sauviras will be stricken. Those who live on trade, Vaishyas, Shudras, Karitis, Yavanas, the Malavas, and so on, as well as pickpockets, will all go to ruin. When the earth shakes under Ahabudnya, there will be great misfortune for merchants, those who delight in the Dharma, Siddhas, those who live on toll fees, the Shibis, the Vatsas, the Vatsyas, Kshatriyas, those who descend from Arjuna, and kings and archers from Sindhu will all be afflicted before long. When the earth shakes under Revati, there will be a very violent war. Villages will be massacred, and village will destroy village. Sailors living by the water, the Ramatas, the people of Barukacha, the headmen of the Abhisaras, and all armies will be struck by fire. When the earth shakes under Ashvini, there will be great misfortune for horses, Ashva. Villages will be massacred as brothers seek to kill brothers. Those who are conceived then, and those who are born then, will suffer uninterruptedly for the next 3 years. They will not be beautiful babies, and they will not be embellishable people. Kings descending from Arjuna will assault each other for 3 years. When the earth shakes under Bharani, there will be great misfortune for thieves, rogues, gamblers, pickpockets, those who deceive with a mirror, cheats, prison keepers, barbers, and bad people who engage in evil conduct. Will all be stricken at that time, once shaken by that earthquake. If immediately after the earth has trembled, after an interval of a week, there is a majestic cloud, thick, dark as black eyeshadow, and resembling a great mountain, Indra begins to rain down then, as it is said by the great sages. Being like harbingers of good fortune, with Indra's lightning bolt as victory banner, thunderclouds appear at dusk, obscuring the sun and the moon. Clouds resembling pomegranates appear in the sky at that time. Then, having beheld such signs, one may know that the quakes come with Indra. This would be then the prediction as it is given by great sages. Then, in utter confidence, one should sow all seeds, and merchants should engage in commerce without any fear at that time. Of all the earthquakes, the quakes that come with Indra are commendable. If, immediately after the earth has trembled, after an interval of a week, a cloud begins to cover the sky, and then a series of clouds arise with the appearance of silk, moving progressively in the western direction, and clouds resembling dolphins, aquatic animals, fish, and makaras come to appear at dusk, obscuring the sun and the moon. Then, having beheld such signs, one may know that the quakes come with water, This would then be the prediction as it is given by great sages. One should then plant seeds in the higher lands, at mountain peaks, in fields and in groves, because in lower lands they will come to naught. In mud, water, or dusty soil, at that time they will come to naught. Of all the earthquakes, the quakes that come with water are commendable. If, immediately after the earth has trembled, after an interval of a week, terrible winds begin to blow, dusk appears tawny, and the sun and moon are red, then, having beheld such signs, one may know that the quakes come with wind. Therefore there is the proclamation, as given by the great sages, that a wise person should not leave home, and should guard himself at that time. One should make a hiding place, and one should build walls and dig trenches. Being in conflict with neighbors, fear will arise among the people. Of all the earthquakes, those that have the described qualities have been determined by people to have come with the wind. If immediately after the earth has trembled, after an interval of a week, there are terrible showers of meteors, dusk has a red glow, and the sun and the moon turn red, then, having beheld such signs, it may be known that the quakes come with fire. Fire will burn kingdoms, and any riches that have been saved. Columns of smoke will appear, and arms will be taken up violently. The Vina configuration will appear in the sky, and it will not rain for 9 months. Of all the earthquakes, the quakes that come with fire are the worst ones. In the morning, Kshatriyas and kings will be afflicted. At midday, horsemen, elephant riders, charioteers, and ministers. In the afternoon, cows, cattle, vaishyas, and shudras will be afflicted. And at dusk, robbers and outcasts will be tormented. In the first watch of the night, the communities of barbarians will be harmed. At midnight it will be women and eunuchs. In the third watch of the night, those who live on agriculture, trade, and cow-herding. In the waxing half of the month, those who do savage work will be afflicted. In the waning half of the month, brahmins and kshatriyas who perform offering rituals will be tormented, and those foremost in the Dharma, whose manner is pure, will be distressed. One who has a gentle disposition toward the wise and learned, that person is a Brahmin with Vedic knowledge, who is worthy of reverence by kings. The 4 courses of Brihaspati are the same as the auspicious actions. The 4 courses of the sun are the same as the bright actions, and the 4 courses of the moon are the same as Brahmic action. This, dear Puṣkarasārin, is the lecture on predictions regarding earthquakes. Now, dear Puṣkarasārin, let me set forth the lecture on the occurrence of illness under the 28 asterisms. Please listen. If a woman or man falls sick under Kritika, the illness will last for 4 days, and after that they will be better. Fire being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of curd. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or man falls sick under Rohini, the illness will last for 5 days, and after that they will be better. Prajapati being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of fresh garlands. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Mrigashira, the illness will last for 8 days, and after that they will be better. The moon being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of lentil broth. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Ādra, the illness will last for 10 days, and after that they will be better. Rudra being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of rice porridge. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Punarvasu, The illness will last for 8 days, and after that they will be better. The sun being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of fragrances and garlands. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Puṣa, the illness will last only a little while, and after 5 days they will be better. Brihaspati being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of fragrances and garlands. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Aslesha, there is no curative treatment, but the serpent is then the presiding deity. If a woman or a man falls sick under Magha, the illness will last for 8 days, and after that they will be better. The ancestors being the presiding deities at that time, one should make a barley offering of Khichri. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Purva Palguni, the illness will last for 5 days, and after that they will be better. Aryaman being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of fragrances and garlands. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Uttara Palguni, there is no curative treatment, but Bhaga is then the presiding deity. If a woman or a man falls sick under Hasta, the illness will last for 5 days, and after that they will be better. The sun being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of fragrances and garlands. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Chitra, the illness will last for 8 days, and after that they will be better. Tvashta being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of ghee and mung beans. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Svati, the illness will be afflictive for 25 days. The wind being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of variegated garlands. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Vishaka, the illness will be a heavy one, lasting for 19 days. Indra being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of fragrances and garlands. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Anuradha, the illness will last for half a month, and after that they will be better. Mitra being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering with a bowl of ghee. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Jeshta, the illness will be an afflictive one, lasting for 13 days. Indra being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of fragrances and garlands. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Mula, the illness will last for a month, and after that they will be better. Nairiti being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of liquor and meat. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Purvashada, the illness will be a very afflictive one, lasting for 8 months. Water being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of sesame khichri. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Uttarashada, the illness will last for 7 days, and after that they will be better. Vishva being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of rice porridge. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man fall sick under Abhijit, the illness will last for 6 months, and after that they will be better. Vishnu being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of whey. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man fall sick under Shravana, the illness will be a heavy one, lasting for a full 12 months. Vishnu being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of fragrances and garlands. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man fall sick under Dhanishta, the illness will be a heavy one, lasting for 13 full months. Vasava being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of ghee and garlands. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man fall sick under Shatabisa, it will last for 18 days, and after that they will be better. Varuna being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of rice porridge. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Purvabhadra, there is no curative treatment, but Ahya Budnya is then the presiding deity. If a woman or a man falls sick under Uttarabhadra, the illness will last for 7 days, and after that they will be better. Aryaman being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of fragrances and garlands. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Revati, the illness will last for 28 days, and after that they will be better. Pusha being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of fragrances and garlands. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Ashvini, the illness will be a very afflictive one, lasting for 25 days. Gandharva being the presiding deity at that time, one should make a barley offering of barley meal. Through this act of offering barley, they will be cured of that illness. If a woman or a man falls sick under Bharani, there is no curative treatment, but Yama is then the presiding deity. A sagacious person should keep moral discipline, because consequently they will go to heaven. This, dear Puṣkarasārin, is the lecture on the occurrence of illness. Now, dear Puṣkarasārin, let me set forth the lecture on imprisonment and release. Please listen. Dear Puṣkarasārin, it should be said that if one is chained or imprisoned under Kritika, one will be released after 3 days. If one is chained or imprisoned under Rohini, one will be released after 3 days. If one is chained or imprisoned under Mrigashira, one will be released after 21 days. If one is chained or imprisoned under Adra, one will be released after half a month. If chained or imprisoned under Punavasu, after 7 days. Under Pushya, after 3 days. Under Ashlesha, after 30 days. Under Magha, after 16 days. Under Purva Palguni, after 10 days. Under Uttara Palguni, after 7 days. Under Hasta, after 5 days. Under Chitra, after 7 days. Under Svati, after 10 days. Under Vishaka, after 26 days. Under Anuradha, after 31 days. Under Jeshta, after 18 days. Under Mula, after 36 days. Under Purvashada, after 14 days. Under Uttarashada, after 14 days. Under Abhijit, after 6 days. Under Shravana, after 5 days. Under Dhanishta, under 28 days. Under Shatabisha, after 18 days. Under Purva Bhadrapada, after some time. Under Uttara Bhadrapada, after 13 days. Under Revati, after 14 days, and under Ashvini after 3 days. It should be said that if one is chained or imprisoned under Bharani, one will be released after 3 days. This, dear Puṣkarasārin, is the lecture on imprisonment and release. Now, dear Puṣkarasārin, let me set forth the lecture on birthmarks. Please listen. If a woman has a birthmark on the crown of her head that is subtle and smooth and has the colour of a pink lotus, it is said that she will have a king as her husband. If she has a beauty spot above the breasts, if a woman has a birthmark on her forehead that is subtle and has the colour of black eyeshadow, she will have an army general as her husband. If she has a beauty spot between the breasts, if she has a mole between the brows, they say that a young woman is of bad conduct. She will come to have 5 husbands, if she has a beauty spot within her navel. If she has a birthmark on her cheek, they say that the young woman is liable to experience sorrow, if she has a beauty spot amid her body hair. If she has a mole on her ear, they say that the young woman is learned. She is erudite and possesses knowledge if she has a beauty spot on her lower back. If she has a mole on her upper lip, they say that the young woman is dishonest. She will have a miserable married life if she has a beauty spot on her thigh. If she has a mole on her lower lip, they say that the young woman is of bad conduct. She gets plenty of sweet food and drink if she has a beauty spot on her private parts. If she has a mole on her chin, they say that the young woman is of bad conduct. She gets plenty of sweet food and drink if she has a second beauty spot on her private parts. This, dear Puṣkarasārin, is the lecture on birthmarks. Now, dear Puṣkarasārin, let me set forth the lecture on the qualities of being born under an asterism. Please listen. A person born under Kritika will be ardent, kindly, daring, brave, fierce, and someone who speaks kindly. A person born under Rohini will be wealthy, righteous, vigorous, resolute, brave, and firm, and they will always have happiness. A person born under Mrigashira will be gentle, charming, beautiful, and particularly loved by women. A person born under Ādra will be violent-natured, fierce, very talkative, engaged in savage actions, and a great lord over many hundreds. A person born under Punavasu will be undesirous, intelligent, disposed to the Dharma, and short-tempered. A person born under Puṣya will be a radiant Brahmin, a Kshatriya, a king, or a revered Vaishya or Shudra. A person born under Ashlesha will be hot-tempered, irascible, cruel, a bad person, and fierce. So may one foretell everything. A person born under Magha will be very discerning, will perform Shraddha, and will have a lot of good fortune, riches, grains, and enjoyments. A person born under Purva Palguni will be disposed to having a mind that is unrighteous, and will be someone who violates the wife of his guru. A person born under Uttara Palguni will have enjoyments, divine knowledge, and good fortune. A person born under Hasta will be pure-natured and courageous, will eat soft food, will lead an army, and will not engage in stealing. A person born under Chitra will have bright eyes, Chitraksha, will be a dazzling storyteller, Chitra Katakara, will be beautiful, will have many women, and will be disposed to what is diverse, Chitra Shila. A person born under Svati will be celebrated among friends, will be discerning, gentle, and fond of drinking, and will make friends and be thoughtful. A person born under Vishaka will be radiant, very wealthy, brave, courageous, and dexterous, and they will have good fortune. A person born under Anuradha will have friends and be magnetic. They will be pure and grateful, and have a righteous nature. A person born under Jeshta will have friends, overcome all, delight in archery, and be fond of women. A person born under Mula will be ungrateful and unrighteous. They will have firm courage and commit bad deeds. A person born under Purvashada will be selfish and have distracted senses. They will be fond of fish and meat and will be someone who kills. A person born under Vishvadeva will be empathetic, generous, consummate in knowledge, kind-hearted, and certain. A person born under Shravana will be a teacher, a composer of treatises, trustworthy, attentive to his duties, long-lived and prosperous. A person born under Dhanishta will have an unsteady mind and manifold possessions, and will harbour doubts about everything. A person born under Varunya will be disposed to hatred. They will be someone who speaks ill everywhere. A person born under Purva Bhadrapada will have good conduct and virtue. They will be grateful and talkative. A person born under Uttar Bhadrapada will be discerning and sagacious. They will have many children and much wealth, and be disposed to the Dharma. A person born under Revati will be righteous and serve their relatives. They will be poor, have little wealth, and always be giving and unenvious. A person born under Ashvini will be very discerning. They will be liked by many people, and they will be brave and have good fortune. A person born under Bharani will be of evil conduct, undiscerning, lustful, desirous of giving, and one who lives off others. This, dear Puṣkarasārin, is the lecture on the qualities of being born under an asterism. Moreover, great Brahmin, I can veridically turn this mind to recollecting, knowing, and directly realizing past lives. I can fully recollect numerous past lives. You may be having doubts or uncertainty, Brahmin, thinking it was someone else who, at that time, at that moment, was Brahma, preeminent among gods. But it should not be seen in this way. It was I who, at that time, at that moment, was Brahma, preeminent among gods. Then, having passed away, I was Indra Kaushika. Then, having passed away, I was the Brahmin Aranemi Gautama. Then, having passed away, I was the great sage named Shvetaketu. Then, having passed away, I was the Pandita Shuka. It was I who then divided the Vedas into four, namely Pusha of the Rig Veda branch, Pankti of the Samaveda branch, the 21 schools of the Yajur Veda branch, and Kratu of the Attara Veda branch. You may be having doubts or uncertainty, Brahmin, thinking it was someone else who at that time, at that moment, was the great sage named Vasu. But it should not be seen in this way. It was I who at that time, at that moment, was the great sage named Vasu. It was I who obtained Takshaka's maiden daughter as my wife. Having become completely impassioned, I lost my miraculous power and strayed from the meditative absorptions. I reproached myself, and on that occasion uttered the verse, Om Bir Bhuva Sva Tatsa Virtur Varenyam Baryo Devasya Dimahi Dio Yo Na Prachodayat. Therefore I say to you, Brahmin, that it is a mere commonplace notion of people to speak of Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Shudra. This is in fact one. All this is one and the same. So please grant your daughter Prakriti as wife for my son SHARDūlakarṇa. I will bestow on you whatever dowry you have in mind. Having heard these words from the outcast king Triśaṅku, the Brahmin Puṣkarasārin said, Being the Lord, versed in the Vedas, superior, there is no one who is better than you. You are the same as great Brahma, in all the worlds with their gods. Dear sir, to your son I give my daughter Prakriti, who is endowed with ethics, appearance, and virtues. May the two of them, SHARDūlakarṇa and fine Prakriti, be happy together. It is much to my delight. At this point, the 500 Brahmin youths loudly erupted in a great uproar. "Dear teacher, please do not approve of a matrimonial bond between Brahmins learned in the Vedas and an outcast. It is not proper, dear teacher, for Brahmins learned in the Vedas to forge a matrimonial bond with an outcast." The Brahmin Puṣkarasārin then reprimanded them, putting an end to the uproar, as he spoke on this matter with a verse. "It is like this. What Triśaṅku has been saying is true, accurate, real, truthful, certain, and sound." When the Brahmin Puṣkarasārin had put an end to the Brahmin youth's great uproar, he said to the outcast king Triśaṅku, "This great man, dear Triśaṅku, made of the 4 great elements, has been arranged by Brahma, lord of this Saha world, of whom the starry firmament is his head, the vault of the sky is his belly, the mountains are his thighs, and the earth's surface his feet. The sun and the moon are his eyes, the grasses and trees his body hair, the ocean are his excrements, the rivers are his urine, and the rains are his tears. This is Brahma, lord of this Saha world, and you are the supreme knower. It is just as you have been telling me. Now, dear Triśaṅku, what has been said here? One must clearly examine the particular characteristic. They come into existence due to the deed that is done by a father and a mother, being enticed by the desire for pleasure. Beings go into a well-pregnant womb. No human being comes by itself. In all castes, people are given birth to. There is no one who is born from the wind. One must recognize the actual nature in the world. Who then are Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, Shudras? Everywhere there are people who are one-eyed, crooked, lame, or suffering from leprosy, vitiligo, or epilepsy. There are those who are dark, who are fair, and who are dusky. People are thus distinguished from one another. But they all have bones, skin, nails, flesh, sorrow, happiness, excrements, and urine. And there is no difference in the sense faculties. Therefore, the 4 caste categories do not exist. If a twice-born attained passage to heaven by means of mantras, then dark or bright actions would not bear any fruit. Since dark or bright actions indeed come to bear fruit, one sees their karmic ripening among the 5 states of rebirth. Having been defeated there among the hundreds of Brahmin youths by the greatly renowned outcast king Triśaṅku, the Brahmin Puṣkarasārin said, "A Brahmin he is, the outcast king named Triśaṅku. For you were Brahma and Indra Kaushika. You were Aranemi Gautama. You were Shveta Ketu and the Pandita Shuka. The Vedas were promulgated as 4-fold by you. You were the Lord Vasu, the greatly renowned royal sage. You are in possession of supreme knowledge. You are fully accomplished in all disciplines, and you are superior, distinguished, and supreme in the world, for you are in possession of knowledge and conduct. To you I give my immaculate daughter Prakṛti, who is endowed with ethics, appearance, and virtues. May the 2 of them, Śārdūlakarṇa and fine Prakṛti, be happy together. It is much to my delight." Having taken a golden pitcher filled with water, the Brahmin joyfully poured it out and offered his daughter with the water, declaring, "May this maiden Prakṛti be the wife of Śrāvastī." The outcast king was overjoyed. After having arranged the marriage of his son, he returned to his city with renown and ruled over his kingdom according to the Dharma. You may be having doubts or uncertainty, monks, or you may feel unsure, thinking it was someone else who at that time, at that moment, was the outcast king named Triśaṅku. But it should not be seen in this way. It was I who at that time, at that moment, was the outcast king named Triśaṅku. Monks, you may be thinking it was someone else who at that time, at that moment, was the outcast prince named Śrāvastī. But it should not be seen in this way. It was the monk Ānanda, who at that time, at that moment, was the outcast prince named Śrāvastī. You may be thinking that it was someone else who at that time, at that moment, was the brahmin named Puṣkarasārin. But it should not be seen in this way. It was the monk Shariputra who at that time, at that moment, was the brahmin named Puṣkarasārin. You may be thinking that it was someone else who at that time, at that moment, was the brahmin Puṣkarasārin's maiden daughter named Prakṛti. But it should not be seen in this way. It was the nun Prakṛti who at that time, at that moment, was the brahmin Puṣkarasārin's maiden daughter named Prakṛti. It is she who now, because of that affection, because of that love, followed the monk Ānanda wherever he went, who stood behind Ānanda wherever he stood, standing silently at the door at whatever house he entered for alms. Then in that connection, on that matter, on that occasion, the Blessed One spoke this verse. It is due to a past lifetime together, and due to kindness in the present. It is because of this that love arises, like a lily in the water. Therefore, monks, in order to directly realize the four truths of the noble ones that have not yet been directly realized, I call for utmost diligence and intense fervor. One should apply enthusiasm and undeterredness with mindfulness, full awareness, and heedfulness. In order to swiftly and directly realize these four truths of the noble ones that have not yet been directly realized, the truth of the noble ones on suffering, the truth of the noble ones on the origin of suffering, the truth of the noble ones on cessation, and the truth of the noble ones on the way leading to cessation, one should apply utmost intense fervor, diligence, effort, enthusiasm, and undeterredness with mindfulness, full awareness, and heedfulness. When this discourse on the Dharma was being spoken, the minds of 60 monks were liberated from the contaminants, no longer clinging. And for many Śrāvakas, brahmins, and householders, there arose the dustless and stainless Dharma eye. This is what the Blessed One said. Elated, the monks, King Prasenajit of Kaushala, the people of Śrāvastī, and the world with its brahmins, householders, gods, nagas, yakshas, asuras, Garudas, Kinnaras, Mahoragas, and Gandharvas rejoiced at what the Blessed One had spoken. This concludes the noble sutra about Śārdūlakarṇa.